So this young lady was stuck between her baby father and her high school sweetheart. Now her baby father was a good dude, paid all the bills, she didn't have to work, they just had a baby, and he wanted to marry her. Now her high school sweetheart, she was so madly in love with when she was younger, and the only reason why they broke up is because he kept on going back and forth to jail. So her high school sweetheart been locked up for 5 years, and her life been magnificent. Like I said, she don't have to work, she don't have to pay bills, this young man took care of her. But one day, her high school sweetheart get out of prison. He messaged her on Facebook and says, yo, it's been a while, how have you been? Now she didn't see that message for a couple of days, but the day that she seen the message, old feelings started coming back. Now she usually don't open dudes' DMs, but she was curious on what he sent. Now when she opened the message and read it, it felt like her old feelings was back already. He was saying how much he messed up and how he was stupid for not listening to her to stay out of the streets. And he also said the only thing he could think about every single day while he was locked up was her. Told her, I will never stop loving you. I will always be here for you. Now she's in love with the father of her child, but she still got feelings for her high school sweetheart. Now she really wanted to reply to this message so bad, but she didn't want to disrespect her boyfriend. So she left him on scene. So a few days go by, then a few weeks go by. So the boyfriend drops off the baby to her parents, and then they go out for a date night. Now, when they go on this date night, they go to this venue place that's really empty. It's only one table, candles lit, rose petals all over the floor, balloons, all that. So she is taken back by this and says, what is this? What's going on? He said, I just wanted to, make you feel special, date night. So they sit down, having a bite to eat, being very romantic. And then he stands up and says, listen, with tears in his eye, he says, you gave me everything I ever wanted in life. And since you did that, I owe you my life. He goes in his pocket. He says, sorry, I don't want to be your boyfriend anymore. She takes a deep breath and put her hand on her chest. He gets down on one knee and says, will you marry me? She started doing the ugly cry and says yes. And then they hugged and kissed each other. Next thing you know, everybody came out the cut, popping bottles, popping balloons, and celebrating. Everybody taking pictures of them, posting the ring and everything. Now this young lady is beyond happy. But the next day, she gets a DM. It's her high school sweetheart, and he's pretty upset. He sends her a picture of her ring and says, really? You gonna wait till I get out of jail to do this? And he also let her know how bad she broke his heart and how he mad that she left him on scene. And then he kept begging her, please respond to me. Please respond to me. I love you. Please. I just want to be with you. Please respond to me. Please just give me some type of closure. Please. That's all I ask of you. She fell for it and responds, hey, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but I'm madly in love with this man. He replies with, even though you madly in love with him, I know you still madly in love with me. Deep down inside, it was no denying that. She's actually torn between the two, but she felt like her fiancé is a better pick for her. So she replies with, what me and you had in the past was a beautiful thing, but that's over now. And he replies with, the fire got put out too early. We still can rekindle it. She said, well, I replied to the message like you asked to give you closure. He puts a laughing emoji and said, do you really think this closure? Closure is me seeing you and you telling me to my face. He said, once you do that, I'll stop bugging you. I won't DM you. I won't like your pictures. I won't follow you. I won't do none of that. Just give me that little bit. She says, well, I'm about to get married, so I can't do it. Then he replies with, listen, I only got 6 months to a year to live. My doctor told me I don't got a lot of time. And to be honest with you, one of the greatest things you can do for me is allow me to see you to give me closure. And when she read that he only had 6 months to a year to live, it broke her. She started getting really emotional and felt like she wanted to cry. So she said, you know what? Just let me know whenever you're free and I'll come see you. He says, okay, cool. Can I come see you tonight? She says, what time? He said, around 9:30. She says, can it be earlier than that? That's kind of late, because, I got the baby and my fiance. He said, please, because tomorrow morning I have to leave and go out of town, and I'll be out there for a couple of months. So she says, okay, 9:30. So when the fiance and the baby get home, everything seems perfect and smooth. So she tells her fiance, hey, babe, I'm going to go out tonight with the girls. He says, oh, okay, that's cool. Have fun, baby. So she was getting ready. 9 o'clock, she left the house. 9:30, she met up with the young man. Now, when she met up with the young man, they was having a really good conversation. They was laughing, smiling, and it seemed like everything has been rekindled. She felt so comfortable that she forgot that she got a fiance. She getting close to him. They hugging. He got his arms around her. So when he asks her for a kiss, she says, nah, I can't do that. He said, listen, I can be gone in 6 months from now. Can you please do that for me? She looks at him and says, do you really think that's gonna work? He said, I'm not at peace, but this made me feel a lot better. But if you gave me a kiss, I can go in peace, knowing that I got to experience you at least one last time before I go. She fell for it and she kissed him. He tried to do something else, but she wasn't going for it. They hung out for the rest of the night and then she went home. But the next morning, her fiance packed up the things that he had and he left. He didn't give her no warning. He didn't talk to her about nothing. He just left. She was confused by this and called him and said, hey, what's going on? Why are you taking everything out of the house? In the most calm and polite way, he said, hey, I'll be back home in a little bit. I'll let you know everything that's going on. Now she's thinking to herself, what could this be? Are we moving? He's just not telling me? Like, what's going on? He's always trying to surprise her, so she's kind of confused on what's going on. So when he pulls up to the house, she says, wait, do we got a new house that you're not telling me about? He smiles and said, I wish, but I got something to show you. She smiles really hard and says, what could it be? He smiles at her and says, something that's going to change our lives forever. She gets really excited and said, really? He says, yeah. He whips out this phone and he shows her pictures of her kissing another man. Now she's beyond confused on how he got pictures of them kissing. Her high school sweetheart set her up to destroy her relationship. So the next morning, he sent all the pictures to her fiance. He had one of his friends taking pictures for him so he can destroy the relationship. Now she has his phone and she's scrolling through all the pictures, feeling stupid. Her fiance says, hey, and do you mind if I get that ring back? She looks up at him and says, wait, I can explain. He said, no, there's no need to explain. You already did what you wanted to do. She grabs him by his arm and says, listen, he told me he was going to die. So her fiance looks at her and says, oh, so all they had to do was tell you that they was going to die and you'll fall for it and destroy everything that we had going on. Okay. She stops him and says, listen, I promise you this will never happen again. He stopped packing up his stuff and he says, do you really mean that? She puts her hand on her chest and says, baby, I swear it would never happen again. I love you so much. He stopped packing his stuff up. He walks to her, grabs her by both shoulders. He looks her in her eyes and says, I believe you. I know for a fact that it won't ever happen again. He puts his hand on her face and says, you know why it won't ever happen again, baby? She smiles at him and says, why? It looks like he's going in for a kiss and whispers in her ear, because I won't allow it to happen again. He pulls back and says, do you mind if I get that ring back? Now part 2 gonna get more crazy. Let me know if you want part 2 in the comments. And make sure you follow for more content like this. And to all the cool people that follow me, I'm gonna see you in the next video.